points could mean everything come the end of the season. Maybe between these two sides as they vie possibly for an automatic promotion spot. Huge game for both teams to kick off the campaign. It's been a really warm evening here in Luton. Very, very warm. The sun just dropping beneath the oak stand away to our right-hand side as both teams make themselves come out onto the pitch here. Both teams wanting to walk out at the likes of Anfield, Old Trafford or St James's Park in 12 months' time. They've tasted the big time and they're desperate to return. The long road to the Premier League starts here at Kenilworth Road, live on Talksport 2 in the company of the former Arsenal and Stevenage midfielder Adrian Clarke and our very own Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Hugh, and a good evening to you. What a difference 12 months can make. A year ago, both Luton and Burnley were embarking on life back in the elite, a journey framed by differing potentials. The Clarets, fresh from winning this division at a canter, expected to consolidate and re-establish themselves in the elite. The Hatters written off by everybody, fully aware of how tough the challenge would be. Burnley's season didn't pan out as anticipated, and neither, in fairness, did Luton's, if ultimately staying up proved beyond them. They earned a stack of admirers along the way, relishing the journey. Better to have loved and have lost than never to have loved at all. So now they both embark on another championship campaign, hoping to replicate their success of 22-23, when the opening weekend saw Burnley win at Huddersfield in such a flamboyant style that many revised their pre-season predictions for the title. That was the first game under a new manager. 2 years on, they're in the exact same position after Vincent Kompany's defection to Bayern, but will Scott Parker be able to make that same instant impression? No need for change here at Luton. And whilst a few have gone, just 3 new faces have come in. Last season, they finished the highest of the 3 promoted teams. That a creditable achievement. And finished the highest of the 3 again. They will almost certainly go up. While Luton give debuts to Rua Walters and Shandon Baptiste, first start to Zach Nelson, just a second to Joe Johnson. It's Kaminski in goal, Walters, Johnson and Mengi, Abene, Baptiste, Chong and Doughty, Nelson, Adebayo and Morris. Burnley without Amdouni and Berger. They give a first start to only one of their 6 summer signings. That's left back Lucas Pires. So Trafford's in goal, Roberts, O'Shea, Esteve and Pires, Vitinho, Cullen, Brownhill, Odebear, and Foster and Koleosho up front. Wout Weghorst back on the bench 27 months after last kicking a ball in anger for Burnley. The referee tonight, one of the most highly regarded outside the Premier League, Matt Donoghue, who also took charge of Luton's last game of last season. Burnley, their change kit, white shirts, light blue shorts. They're defending the end away to our right-hand side. That's the Oak Road end of the ground, the one that houses the travelling Lancastrians who've made the journey down. Luton in their orange and very, very dark blue shorts. Well, the last 4 championship champions have been sides who've been newly relegated, and over the last 4 years, half the sides who've gone down have come straight back up again. So the stats point to a successful season for at least one of Luton and Burnley, and tonight the first indicator as to exactly what might be lying ahead.
Went very direct there, right from the kick-off. Burnley testing Ted and Mengi. Johnson's in there, of course, as well, and young Rua Walters. I think that Lyle Foster and Luca Koleosho will be a real handful for this inexperienced Luton back 3. But then you look at the other end of the pitch and you see Morris and Adebayo, and you know, or Burnley will know, what to expect from Luton tonight too.
Well, Burnley had possession over on the far touchline, a throw that they will take from midway inside their own half. And one that's launched forward, an opportunity for Foster to try and run Mengi, who recovered well, sends it briskly back to his goalkeeper, Kaminski, just knocking it away from the onrushing Koleosho. Good press from the front here from Burnley. But Luton able to survive it, and Walters will turn it calmly back for Kaminski. The Belgian getting it away, this time from Odebear. And out of the left-hand side of the back line, Johnson starting on the left of the 3 centre-halves with Mengi in the middle. They played the other way round from that in Luton's most recent pre-season friendly against Cadiz here. And also note that they're playing the youngster Nelson in midfield as opposed to as one of potential front 3. So he's playing alongside Baptiste, who played as a left winger in his previous brief minutes as a Luton first teamer. And Chong is playing as a 10 in behind Adebayo and Morris, but they're getting Abene and Doughty forward as much as possible from wing-back. Luton have a free kick. They'll take it to 10 yards inside their own half. We played a couple of minutes here on Talksport 2, and it's Luton 0, Burnley 0. Here's Adrian Clarke.
Yeah, Luton Town, they hug the touchline, so they get their wingers to have chalk on their boots. You see Doughty and Ogbene really, really wide, and it just creates a little bit more space on the inside for somebody like Tahith Chong. He's a very versatile player. He can play as an orthodox midfielder or as an advanced box-to-box man as well. And at the moment, he's just sort of playing in a little pocket of his own there, and Burnley aren't picking him up.
Walters playing the ball forward. Didn't make a league appearance for Arsenal, but very highly regarded in their academy. And under duress there, he's won a free kick. He had two Burnley players around him. He got the ball safe. He did really well, but was fouled.
It's a big night for Ruel Walters. He was highly rated. He was on the bench for Arsenal's first team on numerous occasions, never got on. This is his big chance, isn't it, to make his mark in league football? I've got to say, it's not going to be easy, because Luka Koleosho is going to be up against him a number of occasions in tonight's game, and he is lively. He's very, very sharp with the ball at his feet.
Here's Joe Johnson, has the ball in the back for Luton, played on, flicked on round the corner then by Chong, trying to get Doughty in. The referee's given a free kick to Burnley, which they'll take about 10 yards outside their own penalty area. They've lost the final 3 games of last season, Burnley. Coming into this, have won only 2 of their last 21. I think it's probably much more pertinent to look at their form at this level. Just 2 defeats in 43 championship games at the back end of that promotion winning season.
Oh, they were unreal, weren't they, when they went up as champions. A lot to live up to, really, for Scott Parker.
Long ball played forward by Trafford, who's kept the Burnley goalkeeping shirt despite Václav Hladký's arrival from Ipswich. No Ari Muric now, who departed in a £15 million deal for Portman Road. Trafford had lost his place to Muric during last season, but he starts in possession of the shirt as he did last. It's a Burnley throw which is taken back for Trafford. Very tall goalkeeper, 6'6", wearing blue, just lays the ball outside the penalty area. Driven forward now, Koleosho, really lively character, and bustling and trying to get the better of Walters, who's recovered well, and then will turn back down towards his own corner flag, gets the ball away through the midfield. Cullen will probably get there first and does. Sliding in, maybe just caught out of Bayo, but he certainly had a right to play the ball. Loose ball ricochets Nelson's way in the midfield for Luton, and the Hatters will try and bring it forward towards halfway. Good turn, got the better of Brownhill. Now plays it out towards Johnson, who's still inside his own half. He drives it forward, wanted a touch first. Onabed denied him the opportunity then to play a good ball forward. He blocked the clearance and it goes out of play for a Luton throw.
Yeah, really, really nice to see 2 of the debutants there. Youngsters, no real experience at this level, getting good positive contributions early on. Ruel Walters, under a lot of pressure from Koleosho, plays his way out of trouble, and then Zach Nelson, beautiful little turn inside the middle of the park and switches play to fellow youngster Johnson, so that will do their confidence the world of good.
And Nelson's got the ball in the midfield now, lays it back for Mengi, driven forward by him, and here's Chidozie Obeni on the right-hand touchline for Luton. Back in towards Nelson, looks very neat and tidy, as Adrian Clarke's been saying. Now Mengi, back out to Joe Johnson. It's only his 7th senior appearance tonight. Just a handful of minutes, really, as a Luton first-team player last season. Burnley get it forward, brought down by Odebear in the midfield. He'll come back inside his own half, and then in an excellent ball down towards the left-hand side for Lucas Pires. Pires, wonderful ball. It's got Brownhill in behind the goalkeeper. He scores. 1-0 Burnley, and it's only taken 6 minutes. 2 years ago, they were the championship champions, and they've already laid down a marker here. What a pass from Lucas Pires. Brownhill raced onto it, drew the goalkeeper, and slotted it in. It's Luton 0, Burnley 1.
What a start for the Clarets. It is a great pass from Pires, but it's also a fantastic run from Josh Brownhill. Inside the heart of the engine room, he gets a run on the youngster, Zach Nelson. He gets caught wrong side, and he can't catch him. Once he's put through, he's really, really composed, Josh Brownhill. We know he can finish, and he drives it through the legs of Kaminski. And it's the perfect start for Scott Parker's Burnley.
Well, he got 7 goals in his last championship season, and he scored inside 6 minutes of the new Championship season tonight. Burnley leading here at Luton by a goal to nil. And in possession again, Brownhill doing well, finding Cullen. Cullen, who'd been in Belgian football before being signed by Vincent Kompany, finds Odobert, the Irishman, former West Ham man, getting it back, laid off by the South African Foster. Back out towards Odobert. Luton doing well, turning it over, winning it back, but shot from Adebayo straight at goalkeeper James Trafford.
It's a poor shot, isn't it? In the end, it was Johnson that has been really progressive. He's pushed into midfield to win the ball back in a fantastic area. And he looks up, he's got time to place his shot, but it was a really weak effort straight at James Trafford. So yeah, a good opportunity to get themselves back on level terms is squandered.
Shandon Baptiste trying to win the ball back in the midfield, just unable to do that. And Cullen's now got a little bit of time and space, nudges it forward for the goal scorer Brownhill. Burnley leading here on Talksport 2 at Luton by a goal to nil. And Doughty's given a free kick away, another opportunity for the Clarets, which will be about 15-16 yards inside Luton territory over on the far touchline. Talk about Burnley's form the back end of last season. Luton, one win in 18 games in all competitions. They took only 6 points in the last 16 games last season as injuries really began to bite. So much anticipation here that they're going to be in with a shout come May. Well, it's Burnley that have had the better start here tonight. Free kick now as they look to double their lead. Send in really deep for Dara O'Shea. Header back across the edge of the 6-yard box, then cleared. Comes out away from Koleosho. Picked up by Brownhill. To his left-hand side, Lucas Pires. And now right down in front of us, Dara O'Shea. High angle ball in from him. Too much on that. And it bounces once and then twice inside the penalty area. Drifts out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Kaminski and Luton, who trail here at Kenilworth Road by a goal to nil.
There's a real intensity about Burnley's start to this match. You saw it in the opening exchanges where they really pressed with ferocious aggression, really. The forwards did it and then the midfielders squeezed up from in behind. They're doing it again here. They're going to be a very hard-working, industrious side, I expect, in the Championship under Scott Parker. It's something that helped his teams gain promotion from this level before, and he's instilled it right from the get-go here.
A big night for Parker as well after the trouble that he had in Belgian football. He lasted barely 9 weeks in his last job, only a couple of wins in that time. And he feels, like Burnley, the importance, particularly the early weeks of this season, being able to hit the ground running. And they've been able to do that quite brilliantly so far tonight, although they've got a corner to defend now. As a throw from Doughty inside the penalty area looking for Morris is turned away. And it's going to be a corner, the first of the game, which will be taken over on the Luton left-hand side by Doughty. 10 minutes gone here, 1-0 Burnley lead.
Yeah, James Trafford had problems, didn't he? Especially in the early part of last season, dealing with corners. A lot of Premier League teams put players around him, and you can see 2 Luton players right standing on his toes as we speak.
Yeah, Johnson is one of them. Standing basically on his toes. Nelson is the other. And then Luton then have a full ball of players just to the right-hand side of the penalty spot who are going to be making differing runs. Burnley keeping the bodies back, everybody back behind the ball. In comes the corner, very deep. Morris with an angled header, and Trafford flicks it away out to the far side of the penalty area where it will be cleared, and cleared effectively by Pires to halfway. Burnley are able to reset defensively. Luton get the ball back, but they're inside their own half as they do so. Terem Mengi, the man in possession. It's a perfect start for Parker, and it was interesting that Lucas Pires, who played the defence-splitting ball for the goal, straight away raced over and embraced his new manager. Pires, who signed from Santos in the summer, player that was loaned to Cadiz last season, very highly regarded, and the only one of the Burnley new signings who's in the starting lineup today. He's already made an impression. There's a free kick here to Luton. Walters will take it. They trail 1-0 here on Talksport 2.
Yeah, just looking at Burnley's shape out of possession, it was like a back five really for them. They've certainly come with a solid defensive shape, but I've liked their intent. And now that they've got the lead, you can see when they have possession, Burnley, they're popping it around with with real confidence. But these are the situations they're going to have to be wary of. Alfie Doughty will take all of the set pieces. They'll get the big guys up there, and they've got to try and win the first contact, but more importantly often win those second balls.
Misses a left-footed delivery from Doughty, clipped inside the penalty area. Morris is able to pull it back. He didn't find Nelson. It took a ricochet off a Burnley player, but it was just almost a languid delivery. He just strolled up to it, Doughty, and he just put it straight under the left foot of Carlton Morris, 40 yards upfield.
Oh, he's got a luscious left foot, hasn't he? He's absolutely brilliant at that, and it was a really nonchalant cross-field free kick. The worry for Scott Parker is who was marking Carlton Morris. He's the most dangerous player in the box, and he's unmarked at the far post. He's able to get the ball under control and fashion an effort towards goal. So you have to tighten up, I think, the visitors there.
Mengi, Doughty back for Walters, and Doughty's continued his run forward. He's still on the right, drifting inside the penalty area onto his left, but he goes down. It's waved up by referee Donahue. The challenge was a clean one. No complaints from Esteve that Doughty had gone down, and no complaints from Doughty significantly that the ref didn't give him a penalty.
It's terrific defending. He just stands his ground, and yeah, he knocks the ball past him, Alfred Doughty, on the outside, but he's looking for it really. It's a brilliant 1-2 though, I have to say. Again, another positive contribution from Ruel Walters. Really sharp little 1-2 to put Doughty away down that right hand side.
So we're 13 minutes in, Burnley leading it by a goal to nil. Now, they won here last season as well. It was Lyle Foster that had given Burnley the lead on that occasion. Luton equalised with 6 minutes to go with Adebayo, but then conceded straight away with Jakob Brun Larsen, who's one of the Burnley players from last season who's not around this season. He was on loan and hasn't returned. Good turn in the midfield here by Odegaard. Koleosho chasing after a ball that was slightly overhit. He's done well. He's kept it in down by the corner flag on the dead ball line. Back from him to Lucas Pires. Little drop of the shoulder, trying to take Carlton Morris out of it. Now he's worked it back for Koleosho. Chong comes in to try and close down, but Roberts is there to be able to recycle possession. And he's found Cullen. Cullen goes back inside his own half for Esteve, who was on loan last season, has made that move permanent over the course of the summer. Now the ball goes out towards the right-hand side. There's a clever, tricky little step over there, a right-footed delivery, which just took a deflection on its way through from Coutinho, but is comfortably claimed by Kaminsky. Well, Burnley, good value for the 1-0 lead that they got in the early stages, Adrian.
No, they are. Yeah, they've been the better side by far. I think with and without the ball, with it, they're playing with some real confidence, and without the ball, they've been a tough nut to crack. So yeah, I think the visitors are worthy of that lead. It was a great goal, a fantastic sort of third man midfield run, gets the wrong side of his marker, and you've got to look at the back three and say they're a little bit too easy to pierce there. But once in the position, he never looked like missing, did he, Josh Brownhill?
O'Shea bringing the ball out from the back, and then getting it back again, working it quickly to Trafford, who was put under immediate pressure by Adebayo. Sent forward, Foster going up for in the air. Good aerial battle between him and Mengi, which the Luton defender won. Now Shandon Baptiste takes over in the midfield. He finds Tahith Chong. Chong in possession in the midfield, going left and then right, lending it to Baptiste, wanding it back, not getting it back because it's played square to his right instead for Nelson, and now Walters will go down towards Chidozie Obane. The Irishman firing a ball in. It was a good cross. O'Shea did well to get something on it. Loose ball breaks for Chong on the edge of the area. His shot blocked. Cullen finds Brownhill, and Burnley finds safety. They're able to get it out of the penalty area, and then Pires, so composed in possession, has done well. A little bit too composed for a moment because he very nearly got caught, but Burnley are able to bring it away, and more good quick football sees them advance up the left-hand touchline before Nelson slides in and gets it away from Cullen for a throw to Burnley.
Yeah, high five there for Lucas Pires from Scott Parker. He came onto the pitch to give him a high five. He looks a player. He looks really, really sharp at left back, super comfortable in possession, and quick thinking too.
Doughty can chest the ball down at the back for Luton, play it into the feet of Johnson, and then Johnson goes back for Mengi just outside his own penalty area. Now Baptiste will bring it forward down to his right hand side for Walters, who's wearing 2. Luton's squad numbers only announced today. The last of the Championship sides, in fact the last of the EFL sides, to announce their numbers. Walters playing, I think it's 20 in pre-season, but has the number 2 shirt for the new season.
Is it the same kit as last season as well? It doesn't look any different. It is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's unusual, isn't it? But good news for the pockets of Luton Town supporters.
You say unusual, I say refreshing, but it's...
Well, no, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Why should you make 3 new kits every season and fleece the supporters? I like that from Luton Town.
Long ball play from Trafford from the back. It goes out of play for a throw. Different patches on the arms, though, so you do need a new one anyway. Don't let me dissuade you from buying one.
Oh, too tight to buy the patches.
Here's a Bene, and he'll chase, and Esteve needs to be quick. And then, having done the hard work, just got himself between the Bene and the ball, and he slammed the brakes on. Gave him a real brake test. The Bene couldn't stop colliding with him, and Esteve felt the contact, went to ground, and is given the free kick by referee Donoghue.
Well, it's twice now. Esteve has been put in some awkward positions, 1v1, and he's dealt with them excellently on both occasions. So credit Maxime Esteve. They're going to make him work for this Luton. I think the reaction has been quite good. There's no major loss of confidence here from Rob Edwards' side. They're back on the horse and looking to hurt Burnley at every opportunity, but at the moment, not getting too much change out of them.
Luton marginally shading possession, but just the one big chance in the game so far, which led to Brownhill's goal. Adebayo making a nuisance of himself, and up against Esteve has beaten him. Now Morris can take over on the Luton right. He's level with the edge of the Burnley penalty area. He's got the ground. He was fouled by Brownhill, and it's a free kick that'll be taken in a really good position, and Doughty will come over to take it. So this will be a left-footed in-swinger, probably aimed and then around the edge of the 6-yard box. They've got no shortage of aerial targets to attack this.
No. Sometimes a player will look to stay on their feet there and whip the ball in themselves, but here at Luton, they know how strong they are at set pieces, and they'll take that whistle every time. 15 goals they scored in the Premier League from dead ball situations. That was among the best. Burnley, by the way, only got 5, so it's a big difference.
Well, Doughty, a massive part of that tally of 15. He's raised his right arm above his head to give a signal to his teammates. He's now spotted the ball down. Takes 2, 3 steps back, no more than 3. So it's only a short run up towards this, but he'll be getting the curl on it. Luton have got 6 orange shirts inside the penalty area ready to attack it. In it comes, it's a low flat one, and having given him the build up, that's arguably his worst set piece since the start of last season. It does end up going out of play for a corner because Lucas Pires miscontrolled it, and then under pressure forced to clear his lines. It will be a corner. I guarantee the corner won't be as bad as the free kick.
He got lucky there, didn't he? Yeah, it was a shocker. I don't know. At first I thought he deliberately tried to drive that low across the turf, but I don't think he could have meant it. The consolation prize is a corner.
And it is Luton's second of the game. We're 20 minutes in. Luton 0, Burnley 1 here on Talksport 2. Jim Proudfoot and Adrian Clarke talking through the action here in Bedfordshire tonight. In it comes, it's a much deeper one towards the far post. Burnley get it away. They won first contact significantly, and then were able to hammer it clear from the edge of the penalty area with Esteve. Luton mop up again on halfway. Chong turning it over the top. He's waiting for the run in behind from Nelson. That's cleared. And play forward through the midfield by Cullen. Chong gets his foot on the ball, works it back for his blonde-haired goalkeeper Kaminski. Long ball forward from him. Baptiste thought he was offside, so he made no attempt to play it, and Burnley can just mop up at the back, and Esteve goes back for Trafford.
I think Luton need to get better quality service into the 2 strikers. It doesn't always have to be a fight ball. They can just drop balls into the chest or feet of those 2 players.
And now Koleosho can bring the ball forward here for Burnley as we welcome listeners from Talksport to Kenilworth Road. Luton 0, Burnley 1 the score, and the Clarets on the front foot, having taken the lead through Josh Brownhill. And Brownhill's got possession now. He's worked the ball out towards the right-hand side for Connor Roberts. Spent the second half of last season on loan at Leeds. Back from him to Cullen. And Adebayo has won it back for Luton, who got off to the worst possible start. They've just given it away again in a dangerous area. But Mengi can head away from a ball that was intended for Foster. It was a brilliant ball forward from Lucas Pires that set Brownhill away for the goal just 6 minutes in. Burnley have been very good value for that. Get the views of co-commentator Adrian Clarke in a moment as Roberts plays the ball in, and it's not one of the Luton defenders off his feet and gone out of play for a throw down by the corner flag. Clarke, the former Arsenal and Southend winger, what have you made of the first quarter of this game?
Well, it's been high-intensity football, as you might expect. Burnley have impressed me. Really excellent pressing from the front, ferocious at times. That's been superb, but the goal was top class. It was a wonderful run from Josh Brown. He ran from deep inside the engine room, beyond the back three. He spotted a hole, he ran into it, and Lucas Pires, on debut at left back, has picked him out of a peach of a pass. 1v1, he just slipped it through the keeper's legs, and it was a lovely way for them to start the season. Look, Luton are a handful. They're causing Burnley problems whenever they put the ball into the box, but it is the visitors, coached of course now by Scott Parker, that have looked excellent.
And our live commentary continues right now on Talksport 2. Burnley leading 1-0 at Luton midway through the first half. And Benny is okay. He's back on his feet having received that treatment, so it's going to be a long throw which will be taken on the Burnley right hand side. Roberts actually just dropping it short at the feet of Odebear. Odebear getting it back from Roberts once more. Played forward now by O'Shea to Cullen. Cullen working it towards the edge of the penalty area where Odebear on the turn can play it back to Esteve. Esteve to Lucas Pires. First mistake he's made, and he's presented it to Doughty, and Doughty shows him a clean pair of heels getting in behind him. 3 Burnley players came across to converge on him and denied him any safe passage up the touchline. He's ended up putting it straight out of play himself for a Burnley throw.
Well, yeah, Scott Parker will be thrilled with that, won't he? Obviously, players make mistakes. Pires just a little bit of a loose touch, and he's away down the right, Doughty, but the way that 3 players covered his back I thought was outstanding. You know, they descended on Doughty, he had nowhere to go. That's teamwork at its very best, really. Doughty probably just, he doesn't have the pace of Ogbene. Maybe if Ogbene's away there, he makes it harder.
Brownhill has dispossessed Morris, who just wanted half a second thinking time in midfield. Didn't get it. And then O'Shea plays it back to Esteve. Down towards Lucas Pires. Burnley leading, courtesy of that 6-minute Brownhill goal. Now Koleosho riding a couple of challenges. Baptiste knew the danger of letting him get too far, and cynically has given him a push in the back. Then finds that the offside flag was up against Koleosho, so the free kick's actually gone Luton's way anyway. So he's got away with one. I think the referee would have had a decision to make there, whether that was a yellow card or not. It may well have been, but the offside was the first infringement, so the free kick goes Luton's way, and they'll play forward from the back now with Nelson finding Baptiste, almost able to squeeze it through towards Adebayo. It was O'Shea on the stretch, had just stepped up and got it clear. Chong riding a challenge. Referee says free kick. Chong still had the ball at his feet, but as Adrian was saying earlier, with Doughty in the side, Luton more than happy not to be given the advantage in that kind of position still. 15 outside the box, so Doughty will line another one up.
Yeah, the angle of this isn't as advantageous for Luton though. It's a little bit straight. It's pretty level with the where the D joins the 18-yard box. There's a little bit of angle on it, but you've got to be really precise here if you're Alfie Doughty, and he's got some big targets to aim for, hasn't he? Luton have got some giants in there.
Remember him scoring a fantastic goal. I think it was against Gillingham in a League Cup tie here very early last season from a not dissimilar kind of position to this. But this one is just going to be clipped in. That's a good run from Morris round the back, and his touch was really poor. Looked as though he'd done the hard work. Was offside anyway, actually. But Doughty just bending one into his path, and Morris unmarked coming in at the far post. But he tried to either shoot or play it in towards the aerial targets who were arriving in the middle. He split the difference and ended up putting it into the Burnley fans with the offside flags up anyway.
Yeah, well, it was a striker marking a striker there. Lyle Foster is designated. Carlton Morris, it just leaves him. I mean, he's got so much room. He just peels off him 5, 6, 7 yards away from him, and he's allowed that space, and Alfie Doughty just picks him out with ease. He shouldn't really be offside though. That's the disappointing factor for Rob Edwards.
Luton getting the ball back in the midfield again with Nelson, who's shown up well on his debut. Now to Chidabene. Chidabene making his way forward, cross it in, sends a young Luton fan down beneath us in the Bobbers stand. Baptiste, Johnson, Nelson, back inside the centre circle for Mengi. Mengi forward for Walters. Colliosho coming across and putting a challenge in, but Morris has done well. Benny does cross it in this time. Took a spiteful deflection towards the near post, and Trafford scampered after it. Saw the deflection and knew that it was going to be a corner if he couldn't get his hands there in time, and he couldn't quite. So third corner to Luton, and again an in-swinging Doughty delivery, and these are often the more potent ones.
Yeah, the pressure is growing, isn't it, on Burnley? They've repelled these free kicks and corners pretty effectively so far, but just the percentages tell you that sooner or later Luton might have some joy from one of these situations. That was good football. That was better, wasn't it? Nice little triangle down the right-hand side before the cross was deflected behind the goal line.
So Benny hasn't gone forward. Chong is on the edge of the penalty area with Baptiste. Everyone else inside the box. In comes Doughty's delivery, and it's punched clear by Trafford. And Benny just motioned that he was going to play the ball back towards Kaminski. He didn't, and elected instead to play it down the inside left channel for Shandon Baptiste. Great right-footed ball in from him, just too high for Morris. Didn't quite reach Adebayo, who's coming in behind, because Esteve could get it away. Clearance gets to halfway and is knocked by Walters back to his goalkeeper Kaminski. The last 10 minutes have been Luton's best 10 minutes of the game, and whereas Burnley certainly 20 minutes in were good value for the 1-0 lead they had, it's a little bit more in the balance now.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I think that's a fair assessment of what we've seen so far. First 20 was Burnley's, but Luton are certainly getting stronger and stronger the closer we get to half time. Esteve has played well, hasn't he, in the first half as well. I think he's cleared his lines, he's got his head on things, and he's in those two dangerous 1v1s he held his nerve superbly.
Well, we've got so much live football for you over the course of the season. It continues tomorrow with Carabao Cup action. Now over on Talksport, Adrian Durham, we bring you all the goals as they go in with kickoff. On Talksport 2, our live game, Sheffield United against Wrexham, but we'll also be bringing you news of all the goals as they happen from our coverage at Bramall Lane. Wednesday night, more Carabao Cup action. Leeds Middlesbrough, the pick of the bunch, kicking off at 8 on Talksport. And then it's only 4 days until the Premier League season gets underway. Manchester United first up as they face Fulham Friday night at Old Trafford. Here's the former United man, Tahith Chong, and as he hit the corner flag with his shot, not quite. It'd been a close run thing if the corner flag had been 20 foot tall, but I think he probably just got it out of play for a goal kick rather than a throw. Not his best. Not his best.
We're 29 minutes into the new EFL season for Luton Town, and I'm confident, Jim, that Luton won't have a worse shot for the rest of the season. That was diabolical.
Well, he's brought it onto his left foot, and he had to hit it hurriedly, and he was trying to bend it, the top of his foot, into the top left-hand corner, and he got cut spin on it instead and sent it curling the other way. But listen, you're 29 minutes in, and you know you've had your worst shot of the season already.
Exactly. It's
can only get better.
Uphill from here, yeah.
Chong's been okay apart from that, and scored it again now very neatly. Lays it back for Doughty. Long ball forward from him will be chased down the left-hand side by Adebayo. Adebayo with a little coming together there with Roberts, and in fact the referee, with O'Shea, I beg your pardon, the referee has given a free kick Burnley's way as a result of that on the right-hand side of their box. So half an hour into glorious night here in Bedfordshire. The sun has only just gone down behind the roof of the Oak Road stand away to our right-hand side. Vapour trails are crossing the sky. A beautiful evening. Well, there's going to be some sunset as well. The moon visible. The floodlights are on. It'll be dark probably in about 25 minutes, half an hour's time, something like that. Free kick which will be taken here by Burnley's James Trafford on the edge of the penalty area with 14 to go to half-time.
Yeah, he was being fouled actually, Adebayo, initially. So they were unlucky to be given that against them, Luton.
Colliosho's got such a clever and quick turn of pace and drop of the shoulder. Lost out, and then Carlton Morris had it. He played it down towards Benny, and he in turn was fouled by the bearded Brazilian Lucas Pires. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Kaminski. The the position that we have here at Kenilworth Road, I would say, is just about second to none. And you could shout down, if there weren't 11,000 in here, you could shout down, have a conversation from here with Kaminski as he strikes that free kick. He's right underneath us.
Yeah, the touchline is right underneath our feet, isn't it? It's absolutely fantastic. A lovely height as well. No, it's a perfect night for football, and we've got ourselves a perfect view. Very lucky, I feel, to be here tonight, because this is a good level championship game. These two sides will absolutely be up there come the end of the season.
Yeah, remember, the history is such over the last few years that any side that's relegated from the Premier League has a really good crack at getting promoted at the first attempt. In fact, the last 3 championship champions have been the side that have finished 18th in the Premier League the year before. Luton hoping that Lightning will strike for a 4th successive season. It will be a 5th season that the championship champions are a newly relegated team. Sheffield United, of course, in the mix as well, also have had a really good start. Their very impressive win at Preston, who sacked Ryan Lowe today on the back of that. Burnley have got possession over on the right-hand side of the midfield. Working into the feet of Lyle Foster. Ball over the top from Robertson. It's an excellent one as well. They've been able to turn Doughty. Now Vitinho's got it, and he's waiting for the camera to arrive. He's pulled it back. Brownhill couldn't quite get the ball from between his feet to get a shot in, and Shandon Baptiste can bring it away. But that, on the counter-attack, looked pretty potent from Burnley. And then Baptiste wanted too much time in the midfield and has given a free kick away. He's fouled Foster. And it's a free kick that will be taken by Burnley about 13 yards outside the penalty area, right of centre. But it was a great break.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, they're not afraid to go direct, are they, Burnley, if it's on to do so. And there they just saw the space. Doughty was just a little bit advanced, and they just bent it down that left-hand channel. And, you know, it was very easy for Vitinho to get in. And the cutback was fine. And I thought that Brownhill had produced a lovely touch just to get it onto his left foot, but it was well defended in the end. But then, of course, Burnley win the ball back, win a free kick. And this, I think, is in shooting range. I think I'll be having a pot from here, Jim.
Yeah, I think Brownhill might be. He's looking the favourite. He's the player that has spotted the ball down, but Lucas Pires, still an unknown quantity. He's only scored 1 senior goal in his career. Is he going to try his luck with his left foot? No, he's not. Leaves it. Brownhill bending it in for O'Shea's run at the far post. Instead then heads it on. O'Shea can keep it in, but was offside as he did so. And it's a free kick that will be taken by Luton inside their penalty area. And the ball backheeled away by, I think it was Cullen, might have been Brownhill, but that was the roar of incredulity you heard from the Luton fans was for that. They felt that should be a yellow card for kicking the ball away. But it's a free kick that will be taken by Kaminski away to our left. 10 to go to half-time here on Talksport 2, with Burnley leading it by a goal to nil. Yeah,
enjoyable match, but not too many clear-cut chances, I have to be said. I think, Burnley haven't really tested Kaminski since they scored that early goal, and Luton have huffed and puffed without fashioning anything clear-cut themselves. So the game's bubbling away nicely, but we'd like a little bit more goalmouth action.
Benny's just given a free kick away. He was caught offside. Shots on target so far, just 1 apiece through 35 minutes. Burnley's was the goal, and then immediately after that there was the Luton effort from Adebayo that went straight into the hands of Trafford, where he should have done better, and that's been it. So we haven't had a shot on target in the last 26-27 minutes or so. Ball played forward now by Trafford from this free kick. Bounces on the edge of the Luton penalty area, and Doughty swivels and sends a composed header back to his goalkeeper Kaminski. He wanted to get the ball out quickly, and there weren't too many options for him, and couldn't hide his frustration that was the case. Now he threatens to bowl it out towards Johnson, and then thinks better of it. Wasn't sure he could get it over. Foster plays it down towards Walters, who's been caught in possession right in front of us by Koleosho, and then Baptiste rescues the situation for Luton because he got out the reverse ball from Koleosho down the left for the run from Brownhill. And the ball goes out for a throw, which will be taken by Lucas Pires.
Oh, I'm so impressed by Burnley's pressing. They're hounding the Luton players. They're stopping them producing any quality long balls into the strikers. This has been the issue. They haven't really fed off anything, have they? They haven't clipped balls into the chest or feet of Adebayo or Morris in this first half, and much of that is down to the hard work higher up the pitch from Burnley. It's really disrupted Luton's game plan, in my opinion.
Well, those are the thoughts of the former Arsenal man Adrian Clarke, as Burnley work it back, a step to O'Shea and to Roberts, and then back for Trafford again. Trafford controlling it on the edge of the D. Only had a couple of clean sheets in his first season with Burnley. Now the ball played over the top, and they've got a man in here, and it's 2-0 on a bear, getting round the back of the the Luton back line. And again, able to draw the goalkeeper and slip it under him. They've gone from back to front really quickly there, Burnley mixing it up. But what a first half this is. 37 gone, Luton 0, Burnley 2.
Oh, it's too easy. From a Luton Town perspective, this is a really poor goal to concede. There's no real pressure on the ball. It's just clipped, right-footed, in behind the Luton back three, and Adebayo has got too much pace. He times his run quite brilliantly. Starts down the right. There doesn't appear to be anything on. And the whole back three is undone with that one pass. He's away in the clear, and it's another really calm finish from a Burnley player. Rob Edwards will not be happy with the defending for those two goals.
Well, the French teenager's last goal came back at Fulham in December, but he's taken that one with aplomb. Burnley leading by 2-0. It's the travelling Burnley fans away to our right-hand side who are euphoric with the start that their side have made. Away from home against another one of the teams that was expected and still may well mount a promotion challenge over the course of this season. But as first halves of football go over the course of this campaign, this is a pretty good one as far as Burnley are concerned. Luton back in possession and attacking the Burnley penalty area. Laid back by Morris. Now Baptiste to Mengi. Mengi to Johnson. Doughty making a run out towards the far touchline, offering himself in space, but Luton will go back with Mengi instead towards Kaminski. And Kaminski drives it forward, right-footed. Long ball over the top. Trafford came to the left-hand edge of his penalty area. Quickly just whipped his hands back in because the ball bounced outside the penalty area, but it was his movement towards the ball that did enough to stop Abene getting there. Now he goes out for a goal kick that'll be taken by James Trafford. Great first half for Burnley this.
Oh, superb. Yeah, the fans away to our right, on their feet, applauding the team. Look, it can be fun, can't it? You drop down the division, you're disappointed, but you know, I'm sure those Burnley fans have got great memories of their promotion season year before last, and they're looking forward to more of the same on the back of, you know, a blistering first 39 minutes of this game.
And with a coach who's won promotion to the Premier League with both Fulham and Bournemouth, he, as you mentioned earlier, put it perfectly, he knows the course and distance. And Luton, with Rob Edwards, who's also won promotion from this division, know that they already have work to do. I mean, the context of this game for Luton, the fact that they haven't really brought any players in yet, they've got so many defensive injuries. Osho went in the summer, Giles went as well, and so too Onyedinma, who might have been able to play somewhere across at wing back tonight potentially, and then injuries to Anderson. Bell's not fully fit, no Burt, no Tom Lockyer, of course, no Hashioka, and you all of a sudden appreciate the problems that Luton have got. I don't think you can necessarily judge their entire season's prospects on the strength of 45 minutes here on the basis of those injuries.
Completely agree. Yeah, they're shorn of so many players, Luton Town, at the back, and it has shown.
Well, they can bring the ball forward now, and Morris with a good turn that just sparks a little bit of a wrestling match with Collie Osho. And he's got a free kick near the corner of the penalty area, only about a yard or so outside the box.
That was a lovely little Cruyff turn, wasn't it, from Carlton Morris. He's got that about him. He's a big bulldog of a striker, but he's got decent feet. And he's facing away from goal, and he just checks the ball the other way, and Collie Osho basically rugby tackles him. It's very good centre-forward play. Lovely piece of skill. And a definite free kick. Now, this is a good situation. Does Alfie Doughty shoot here? Does he aim for that far post? or does he look to pick out one of the orange shirts that have come forward here? I think I'm looking to bend this towards the far post and maybe hope that someone gets a little nick on it. So what about the pace here? The pace of the delivery's got to be right.
Like those old free kicks that Zola used to score from the other side, where he would be able to bend it in with his right foot towards the top right-hand corner. If nobody gets a touch, then so much the better. Doughty taking another couple of steps back. There are two in the wall, and he's hitting it. Left foot, he's gone near post. It's hit the wall and has been blocked easily.
That was not the percentage shot. You know, if it gets blocked by the wall, it's game over. But if you go the other way and aim for the far post, you've always got a chance of it coming off a defender and maybe going in or picking out an orange shirt. So, yeah, poor choice, I think, there from Doughty.
Gabani back for Doughty, who's still on the right flank from where he took that free kick. Now Mengi looking long with a high ball down towards the far corner flag. And Morris chasing after that, couldn't get there. It goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by James Trafford. So what do Luton need to do to be able to get themselves back into this game?
Well, I think it could take a leaf out of Burnley's book, and in terms of the way that Burnley are pressing. They're certainly not pressing with anywhere near as much conviction. You know, they could be winning the ball high. You know, they're not a creative side, particularly, are they? We know that. But you can create chances for yourself by winning it high up the pitch. And I don't think they've done that very well in this first half, Luton Town. And I also think they've got to deal with Burnley's press better and provide more quality ammunition into the front two, because we know that Morris and Adebayo will cause problems, but they're feeding off real scraps at the minute.
A yellow card there for Burnley goalkeeper James Trafford for delaying the restart. Burnley bring it forward though from that goal kick. And Mengi can mop up on the edge of his own penalty areas. Just for a moment it looks as though Vitinho is going to be able to cause some problems. Then it's won back by Esteve. And the Frenchman drops back to halfway where Lucas Pires supplies him with a return ball. Burnley go deeper to O'Shea, then to Trafford. Trafford looks long with a high left-footed ball curving over the top. Walters trying to defend the space. Koleosho is breathtakingly quick and scampers after it, and this is his first game for 8 months and nearly got there. And then a poor challenge from Morris catches Cullen. He was trying to get to a loose ball in the midfield. He had every right to go for it, but was a fraction late and a fraction high. He caught Cullen. And it's a free kick to Burnley, 15 yards inside the Luton half. Yeah,
he didn't mean it. It's accidental. It's just really, really sharp play from Cullen to get there first. I think the referee understands that. It's an honest challenge. He's going for the ball, and Cullen just comes in from nowhere. Actually takes the ball with quite a high foot himself, Josh Cullen, but gets away with that. I think on the continent, Cullen might have been punished there. Do you know what I mean? Because he had his foot up fairly high. But referee's given the free kick to Burnley. But look, you see the difference. They're looking to play from here. They're not loading the box here.
Now Brownhill just taps it forward for Lucas Pires. The same combination that brought the first goal. The second score by Audebert half an hour later. And it's 2-0 to Burnley with half-time approaching. The final 30 seconds of the regulation time. Burnley on the front foot again here with Koleosho, the New Jersey-born Italian, playing it through to Cullen. And towards the right-hand touchline here for Burnley's Audebert, an opportunity for him to cut it onto his left foot and get a shot in. He elected instead for Cullen. Cullen looking for Koleosho. His ball forward, intended for Lucas Pires, was mopped up by Morris, and he's given it away straight to Foster inside the area. He's just trying to flick it in almost into the hand of Mengi. He didn't make any contact with it, the Luton man. They get it away. Now we go into 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. With Burnley in possession, Carlton Morris hugely relieved there, because that could have been costly. 3-0, it's game over.
Yeah, it's almost the first half in a nutshell, isn't it? Burnley lose the ball, Luton get it back, and then they press and harry somebody, and they force a mistake, and Morris was breathing a sigh of relief there.
Now they bring it forward again. It's a play by Johnson into Audebert and out of play for a goal kick. Audebert didn't like the decision. I'm sure Matt Donoghue got that right. There's going to be a goal kick which will be taken away to our left-hand side by the Kaminsky or Mengi. So 2-0 Burnley lead. They've got a really good record on this ground. They've won their last 4 games here. In fact, they've only ever won 5 straight away games against one side, twice in their history. They did it back in the last decade against Hull, and then about 100 years ago against Manchester United. But those are the only occasions. But they're 2-0 up and looking for a third before half-time. It's a ball drilled forward by Brownhill. Koleosho trying to make something on it. Puts pressure on Walters. who hurriedly has to turn and put the ball out of play for a throw before he goes out of play for a corner.
Yeah, I love to see it. Koleosho is one of the most talented players on this pitch. He is a box of tricks. He's rapid. He's got it all in terms of creativity. But I tell you what, no one's worked harder than Luca Koleosho in this first half. He's played with real zest on and off the ball, and that's a sign, I think, that this kid, he can really go places. You would never think that this is his first game in 8 months. He was superb in the Premier League up until the point where he got injured. So yeah, this is really impressive from him.
Dara O'Shea picking up the ball at the back for Burnley, gets the last touch of a first half in which they have been hugely impressive. Much the better team for the opening 20 minutes. They scored within that period through Josh Brownhill, able to get on the end of a sublime pass from the debutant Lucas Pires. Then Luton had a 10-minute spell where they got back into the game, but Burnley began to turn the screw again, capitalised on another ball played forward quickly from the back, Odebear making it 2-0, and Burnley mightily impressive in the opening 45. Half-time at Kenilworth Road, Luton Town 0, Burnley 2.
And if there was ever a set of statistics that never really told the story of a football match, it's the half-time stats here. The possession officially 50-50 between Luton and Burnley in that first half. Total shots, well, Luton have had 4, including one that I think went off for a throw. Burnley only 2 shots in that opening first 45 minutes. They've got 2 goals for it. They've looked much more composed, much more controlled in terms of deflating anything that Luton might have done in terms of an attack. All they've really had to defend are set pieces in terms of that Luton attack, and they just look great value at this point in time for all 3 points here tonight. Adrian, it has felt much more like a real dominant performance from Burnley than those stats suggest.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised that it is only 2 shots, but that is correct. They've been super efficient. Burnley, they've been easily the better side. I think they've passed it really nicely between one another. Crisp 1 and 2 touch passing through the thirds. But then when it's been on to go and hurt Luton with a longer pass, as we saw with both goals, they've spotted it and they've executed it, and I think that's been outstanding from their point of view. They sense weakness, I think, down the side of the 2 young centre halves with Ruel Walters and Johnson on the other side, and they're almost carbon copies of one another, aren't they? The first pass was from Pires, the left back. The second pass was from Connor Roberts, the right back, and they release an attacking midfielder who runs through and scores. It's been very impressive, I think, from Burnley.
Let's go back to that first goal. Came very early on. Lovely ball, as you mentioned, from Pires. In behind the back, there was a little bit of movement out wide, which drew Walters in from a comfortable position, allowed a channel for Brownhill to run into, but you're still kind of bemused because you never really see a ball drop like that. No defender in the area.
Yeah.
Brownhill, who's run from inside his own half, bearing down on goal, low and hard with the left foot, and it puts Burnley 1-0 up. 7 goals and 8 assists since Brownhill was last in the Championship. Last time Brownhill was in the Championship. So he's essentially picking up where he left off.
Yeah, he scores goals for fun at this level. Yeah, you're right. It's perhaps a little bit of an inexperience on the part of Ruel Walters. Perhaps would he have been better served keeping his position to the right of centre and leaving the wide man on his own. But he's been drawn across. The whole develops. Where's Mengi? Where is he on the cover? He's obviously looking after Lyle Foster. He's deliberately dragged him further away to create that hole and make it even bigger. And you've just got to credit the pass and credit the run, because it's intelligent football from Brownhill and from Lucas Pires. So yeah, it was a superbly executed opener from the Clarets, and it gave them a lot of confidence for the rest of the half.
Burnley 1-0 up after 6 minutes. It was 37 minutes for Odebear. As you mentioned, a carbon copy of the goal. No real pressure from Chong on Connor Roberts, who just clips the ball down the line, but on his right foot, curling back in towards the penalty box. And Wilson Odebear just uses his pace to bear down on goal. I'd have to say Mengi, once again, just doesn't drop off, doesn't react to the ball coming through, almost holds the line, but the pace of Odebear just takes him in on goal.
Yeah.
And it's such a calm and composed finish.
Yeah, well, look, when you're not got that much pressure on the ball, and there wasn't really, Roberts had time to look up and pick the pass, you've got to be you want to keep that high line, but you should never get beaten. You've got to go with the runner. If someone makes a run like Odebear did, you're deeper than them. You've got to get there first. It should be fairly straightforward, but they were slow to react, and Odebear's pace was blistering, to be fair to him. The pass was magnificent from Roberts, and once he's in, I mean, how cool was he? He literally just passed. He did pass it. I would go as far as to say it was a gentle pass through the legs of the goalkeeper. He didn't try and whack it at all. It was really, really calm and collected, and 2-0 is a damaging scoreline for Luton at half time. We heard a few grumbles, didn't we, when the half time whistle went, and I kind of get it, because they expected better, didn't they, Luton?
These are the moments when you kind of say, Rob Edwards, that manager that we talked about before the game, who had to maybe change his style to be a little bit more pragmatic, a little bit more direct in the Premier League, needs to possibly show us a little bit more at this level, because the way that they've kept the ball just hasn't been good enough. I get it, there are injuries, he's got a lot better players to come back, but at the moment, in terms of this game,
it's personnel, though. Look at the personnel.
Is it just personnel? Look at the personnel. There's no real attempt to keep the ball.
You've got Johnson. Down the spine of the pitch, you've got Johnson, hardly any games. Teden Mengi's had a few, but he's still a young player. Ruel Walters, barely any. Nelson, debut. Shandon Baptiste making his debut. Didn't get that many games for Brentford. Chong's a little bit more experienced. I think that those players that I'm talking about there, that they're down the spine of the pitch for Luton Town, and that's where Burnley have hurt them. With runs into space in this first half. I think once he gets his main players back, Rob Edwards, or if he can reinforce it in the transfer market, we won't see the kind of errors we've seen in that first 45.
This game's not over yet, as the Championship's already shown us this weekend. Could still be some twists and turns, but at the moment, after relegation from the Premier League last season, clear to see no real hangover in the first 45 minutes at least of this campaign for Burnley. The perfect start for the new Claret's boss, Scott Parker, at the break on your home of the EFL Talksport 2. It is Luton Town 0, Burnley 2.
Get that Euro Millions feeling this Friday. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires. That's 10 more reasons to dance. 10 more robots, 10 more limbos, 10 more salsas. 10 UK winners are guaranteed to be millionaires this Friday. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
What else can give you a wave of goosebumps like this?
This is history. Two men with legacies on the line.
And then send you into a state of complete euphoria.
Unadulterated pandemonium at Stamford Bridge. 2 goals in the blink of an eye.
And then leave you with a tear in your eye like this.
Gave of his all in the dark. Will it be his last? Thank you so much.
TNT Sports. Only sport can do this.
At Morrison's, get 1 litre spirits for £19, like Gordon's Gin, Smirnoff Vodka, Bacardi, and more. That's more. Oh, go on. Just a small one.
More reasons to shop at Morrison's.
Majority of stores and online. Subject to availability. Excludes Scotland and Wales. Was £24 each. Ends 3rd of September. Please drink responsibly.
Praise your palate. Take it higher with a fryer. Serenade your senses until everything makes sense again. The Mini Fillet Snack Box. From $2.99 for a crispy mini fillet and fries. Give in to finger licking. Believe in deals. Believe in chicken. KFC. Subject to availability. Prices may vary. Participating restaurants only. See website for full T's and C's.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app.
This is Talksport 2. Be the first to know all the big-name moves, transfer updates throughout the day on Talksport and Talksport 2.
Tomorrow night from 6.
Get bowled over with the Cricket Collective, the fast-paced cricket show on Talksport 2. That'll hit you for 6.
Stop the pitch, he's edged it!
It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news, boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests, dissecting the week's biggest fixtures, and fielding fierce fan reaction.
Oh, you little ripper!
Don't get caught out. Listen to the Cricket Collective.
Tomorrow night from 6.
On Talksport 2.
The Social with Adi Oladipo and Rory Jennings. Tomorrow afternoon from 3 on Talksport 2. Outspoken opinions and decisive debate following all the action.
We talk about football in a bipartisan and educated way. Well, I do at least.
I try.
News, views, fun and football fixtures.
It's not just football though. Bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby.
And it's a try
And some phenomenal guests.
If you can't get in this squad after showing the form he showed, I don't think it looks too good for him.
This is the place to be.
It's Addy and Rory. It's The Social on Talksport 2.
What a goal!
The Social, tomorrow afternoon from 3.
It just works, doesn't it? On Talksport 2.
The sports machine turns you on to the power of live football.
He fires it at beauty.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Will Scott Parker be able to make that same instant impression? Pires, wonderful ball. It's got Brownhill in behind the goalkeeper. He scores. 1-0 Burnley, and it's only taken 6 minutes.
What a start for the Clarets.
Now the ball played over the top, and they've got a man in here, and it's 2-0 on a bear, getting round the back of the Luton back line. And again, able to draw the goalkeeper and slip it under him. They've gone from back to front really quickly there, Burnley mixing it up. But what a first half this is. 37 gone, Luton 0, Burnley 2.
Oh, it's too easy. From a Luton Town perspective, this is a really poor goal to concede.
Well, Burnley have come down to Luton. They've shown real energy and endeavour in that first half. And with only 2 shots, they've established a 2-goal lead through a Josh Brownhill strike on 6 minutes before Wilson Odobert broke free to calmly pass the Clarets into a 2-goal lead. Rob Edwards will look to a possible plan B to try and work Luton back into this game very shortly. But at the break live on Talksport 2, it is Luton 0, Burnley 2. We'll have more live football. It continues tomorrow with the first round of the Carabao Cup. Will be live at Bramall Lane as Sheffield United welcome Wrexham. Wrexham striker Jack Marriott was on Talksport Breakfast earlier this morning with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist, and he was asked if the players have a target on their back due to the growing amount of attention they're getting.
I think so, especially when teams come here. There is often a let's spoil the party kind of approach from the opposing team. So that's something we battle every home game and also away games, because our fans travel so well. We always have a good following wherever we go. So a lot of teams do have that approach when they play us.
Tomorrow night live on Talksport 2, Sheffield United versus Wrexham in the Carabao Cup first round. Jim Proudfoot will be alongside the former Leeds women's striker Lucy Ward. The EFL season, of course, underway. The Premier League season is fast upon us as well. The Talksport network is the place to be for all of the drama over the next 9 months.
It's a magnificent 4 in a row for Pep Guardiola's superstar Manchester City side.
In terms of numbers, nobody have been better than us. So I land here tomorrow and I said, okay, the next 7 years you'll win 6 Premier Leagues. I said, are you crazy?
To Saka, edge of the penalty area, goes past, left footed, drives the ball into the top left-hand corner of the net.
114 points. If we do that, we win the league for sure. This is the objective.
They now know they will be returning to the Premier League as champions of the Championship. Leicester City, Ipswich Town are back in the Premier League after a generation away.
English people like to believe that's the best league in the world, and I believe this as well.
Alexander-Arnold, right-footed towards the far corner. Oh, what a goal! That is fantastic! Oh, the Premier League, we've missed you.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic, but there is big news this evening concerning a big club in the Premier League, the current champions, Manchester City, being reported by our colleagues at the Times, Martin Ziegler and Matt Lawton, that the hearing into Manchester City's 115 charges for allegedly breaching financial rules from the Premier League is set to begin in September, a verdict expected in early 2025. So we will at least have some closure on something that's been hanging over pretty much every football fan in England for quite some time now. Listen, we got plenty more as well when it comes to the Premier League this weekend. Friday night, we will have action from the Premier League with Manchester United taking on Fulham. Adrian Durham alongside Sam Manaface, former Republic of Ireland captain Andy Townsend, and the former Manchester United captain Steve Bruce. Plenty of action across the weekend as well after we've dealt with all of the action in the Carabao Cup, and of course the Championship action live for you on Talksport 2 on Friday night. Coventry taking on Oxford United, who made a great start to life back in the second tier. Scott Parker's out there in the midst of his players, as if he's about to start the second half playing in central midfield. A few words for his team as Luton now come out back in front of their fans. So give them a warm round of applause. I'm sure they weren't overly happy with that first half performance. We'll see if they've got a big response in this second half. Adrian Clarke, who's alongside me, the former Arsenal midfielder, just a few thoughts before the start of the second half. Do you think there is a way for Rob to change this? Rob Edwards to change this and bring Luton back into the game very quickly?
There's always a way, isn't there? There's always a way. Goals can change games, and they've just got to play with a little bit more intensity, a bit more quality, and just unsettle this Burnley rearguard who haven't really been put under anywhere near as much pressure as I'm sure they would have expected tonight. So yeah, I expect Luton to play with real drive and hunger in the first 15-20 minutes of this half to try and get themselves back into it.
Well, Scott Parker came out a few minutes before the rest of his team, looking very, very relaxed. Rob Edwards marching over to the dugout now with the rest of his coaching staff as the second half is about to begin here on Talksport 2. He doesn't look very pleased at all. The second half of Luton 0, Burnley 2 in the Championship, with the former Arsenal midfielder Adrian Clarke and Jim Proudfoot.
And no changes being made. Thank you, Hugh, to the personnel ahead of the second half. And Luton get us underway in orange shirts with a white vertical stripe, black shorts, heading it on immediately inside the penalty area. Morris finding Adebayo right from the kickoff. The ball goes out towards Abene. A lovely turn by Nelson. Nelson, left-footed effort that was blocked. Really good start. Talk about being on the front foot from the kickoff. And Mengi's got it now for Luton. Maybe there were some stinging words of rebuke from Rob Edwards during the half-time team talk. Luton coming out and firing, and that's a good ball forward from Johnson. Chong scampering after it, keeps it in. Left-footed delivery from him. Bounces edge of the penalty area. Bene didn't sit up for him to get a shot in, but he can recycle it. Working wide towards the right-hand side. High ball in, headed onto the bar. A looping header by Adebayo. Got there ahead of Trafford, went high up in the air, came down, hit the top of the bar, and Burnley smuggle it to safety. What a start to the second half for Luton Town.
Just what Rob Edwards would have wanted and demanded from his players. Very much more aggressive, Luton Town, on the front foot. They mean business. That was a good ball in from Ruel Walters, but the concern for Burnley is that James Trafford was out-jumped, wasn't he, by Adebayo? And he's unlucky not to score. It just loops that header onto the crossbar and then to safety. So, yeah, good positive signs here from Luton.
The ball play for Vitinho's claiming that he was given a push there by Doughty. But instead of it being a Burnley free kick, it is a Luton throw. And Doughty, with the heavily tattooed arms, throws the ball forward to Morris. Back for Doughty again. Doughty rolling it in towards Chong on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Morris is on the touchline. Can't get himself into a position to get the cross in. Can pull it back, though, for Joe Johnson. Johnson taking it on again, chesting it down, making his way towards the edge of the area. Morris is in, angles tight, right-footed effort. Hits Vitinho and will be blocked. Comes back out for Mengi. And Luton come again with Doughty. Doughty trying to fade and away past Vitinho, couldn't do so. Odebear taking it on. Doughty rescues the situation for Luton, gets it back. Baptiste, just a slightly heavy touch from him, and Brownhill was an imposing figure coming out of the corner of his eye very quickly. Forced Luton to go back. Baptiste now out towards the right-hand side for Walters, but Luton still with all the momentum at the beginning of this second half.
Well, turned up the heat, haven't they? That's what they've done. They've just gone 20%. Everything's 20% more aggressive, faster, sharper than it was in that first half, and as a consequence they're rocking Burnley for the first time in this game.
About 8 to Morris. Burnley, remember, in the first half, albeit that they have a 2-0 lead, only had 2 attempts on target. Doughty finding Chong here for Luton. Chong trying to take it on inside the penalty area. Cullen did enough, stuck his foot on the top of the ball, and Chong couldn't take it in with him. Now Cullen flicking one over the top. Koleosho chasing after it. And Walters backpedaling, does well. Finds the sanctuary of his goalkeeper. He'll play it forward towards Mengi. Mengi just getting it away from Foster. A real intense press again, and then Walters calms things down, does well. Good turn, buys himself a yard of space, and Luton can play out. Mengi out towards the right-hand touchline for Abene. And the Irishman plays it square to his left-hand side for Shandon Baptiste, into the feet of Chong, but did him a few favours there. O'Shea coming in, got the ball, but certainly caught Chong as well. And the free kick goes to Luton, and is taken quickly. Well, it's a second half performance that has been in such stark contrast to what we saw for swathes of the opening 45. They did have a good 10-minute spell, but certainly their best football of the night has been since half-time. And they'll bring it forward here again with Johnson. Johnson, back for Baptiste. Baptiste looking up to survey his options. Abene was the one that he wanted to pick out, but he made an early run and would have been offside by the time the ball had been played. Abene's got it now coming in off the right flank, but Burnley've still got everybody behind the ball. Luton are 15 yards inside the Burnley half. Play forward towards Zach Nelson. Just a couple of sub-appearances for Luton prior to tonight. Walters, who never made an appearance for Arsenal's first team, making his league debut tonight. Baptiste towards Chong. Chong had left that. He would have found Morris. As it is, Burnley have won it back. Cullen tried to drive it forward. Baptiste got in the way. Koleosho with the shock of hair making his way forward. Nelson trying to foul him. Has been unable to do so, and still Koleosho goes, and he's threaded it in towards Odebear. Right-footed shot from him, brilliantly blocked by Johnson. Otherwise, it would have been 3. Now Vitinho takes it on, and across the face of the 6-yard box goes to safety. But Koleosho with a great driving run forward. Zach Nelson had 3 goes at bringing him down and was unable to do it. He has now got a yellow card for his attempts, but Koleosho did well, stayed on his feet. Burnley couldn't quite make the most of it.
I do love this kid's attitude. Absolutely refreshing, isn't it? Wants to stay on his feet. He's not looking for the foul. He wants to go and score a goal or make a goal. And I thought his little flick pass to Odebear was excellent. It was a magnificent piece of defending from Joe Johnson on the slide.
Now Vitinho with a great turn has got the better of Doughty. Doughty then has pulled him back. Vitinho stopped. The assistant referee didn't flag for a moment, and I think Doughty, in surprise as much as anything else, then played on. The referee said, no, that is a foul. And it's a free kick now to Burnley, level with the edge of the Luton penalty area. But 4 minutes of constant Luton pressure, and now it's Burnley on the front foot going the other way.
It's a better game, isn't it, actually? It's a better game for Luton being more aggressive, more front-footed. It was a bit of a scrap, really, for a lot of that first half. There, Vitinho did an opposite of Koleosho. Koleosho doing anything to stay on his feet, and Vitinho just wanted the free kick. That's all he was interested in. But he's in a good position, this. Wonder what they'll do here. They're loading the front post, it seems.
So it could be a left-footed in-swinger from Lucas Pires. It could be a right-footed away swinger from Brownhill. It's 16 yards from the dead ball line, halfway between the right-hand touchline and the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Brownhill leaves it. In it comes from Pires in towards the near post. And Benny slices it away straight into the Burnley fans behind that goal. And this is the Claret's first corner of the night, Adrian Clarke.
Yeah, they need a breather, don't they? It's been relentless pressure from Luton since we came back out for the second half, and now they're where they want to be, in front of their own fans, with a 2-0 lead and a corner kick.
Corner kick that will be taken by Lucas Pires in towards the far post. It's knocked away by Kaminski. Back in from Odebear. Could have gone anywhere. Oh, what a save from Kaminski. It was a brilliant left-footed effort, smacked with real pace and intent by O'Shea. And Kaminski threw up a right hand and was able to get it away and keep Luton in this game.
Well, that's the strongest of hands from Kaminski. Absolutely magnificent reactions. He takes a swing at it left-footed. It falls kindly for O'Shea. He could not strike this any sweeter. And his view is really impeded, the goalkeeper, but he sticks out a really strong right hand and parries it away. That's a terrific stop from Kaminski, and it keeps Luton in the game, because it would have been game over had they scored there.
But there's more work potentially for him and his defenders to do here, because Burnley now have a free kick as Foster is brought down. This one is left of centre, but only about 11 or 12 yards outside the box. The wall just a fraction outside the penalty area. Kaminski stands leaning against his right-hand post, just trying to make sure that that wall is in the right place. And it's Adebayo that he's talking to. Adebayo will now turn. He's number 2 in the 4-man wall as we look at it. Burnley have got a 3-man wall in front of that. In fact, it's now a 5-man wall with Adebayo in the middle. So it could be Lucas Pires. It's much more likely to be Cullen. He's chipped it actually towards the right-hand side of the area. Back in from O'Shea. Coming to meet it. Odebear. Kaminski again with another save as Odebear's header met a Burnley player coming around at the far post. Burnley then have a player go down inside the penalty area. It's Coutinho, but the referee has given a goal kick. Now, having another look at it, it was a clever ball that was flicked in for O'Shea. Everyone expecting the shot, which is clipped towards the far post, and then coming round the back, Lucas Pires forcing another outstanding save from Kaminski, who's keeping Luton in this single-handedly.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of minutes for the Luton goalkeeper, that's for sure.
That's hit the post, actually.
Yeah, it's a simple overload, isn't it, at the far post. O'Shea puts it into a great area, then a Burnley player gets the next contact, and Pires could easily have scored there.
Well, he's had an assist on his debut. He could have had just the second goal of his career there. Luton now on the front foot at the other end. High ball in. Doughty with a header for Chong! And it's 2-1. How important do those saves look now? Because moments later at the other end, Tahith Chong is in the right place at the right time to bundle the ball over the line. Great ball in. Selfless header from Doughty. Chong couldn't miss. And thanks to Kaminski's heroics at one end and Chong's tapping at the other, it is 2-1.
Yeah, in the blink of an eye, the whole complexion of this match has changed. It's a great ball in from the right-hand side. And the calmness of the header from Alfie Doughty across the face of goal is just outstanding. He watches it onto his head and he just nods it in between defenders for the onrushing Tahith Chong. It is so calm from the Luton wing-back. He doesn't get the goal, but that is really about his coolness under pressure there. That was superb from Luton.
Well, he scored 3 Premier League goals since the start of March, Tahith Chong, and scores 1 in the Championship here. He had a really good spell in the Championship for Birmingham on loan, and back at this level and in the goals. Luton 1, Burnley 2. Now a long ball over the top. Doughty chasing that. Trafford with quick hands comes to the edge of his penalty area to pick it up. And the way that the previous 3 minutes had gone prior to the goal, Burnley must have thought it's just a matter of time before we put this to bed. Now all of a sudden, it's right back in the balance again.
Yeah, and it's going to give Luton a real taste for it. Look, there you see Ted Mengi coming into midfield to win the ball. We didn't see any of this in the first half. They weren't anywhere remotely close to being this snappy with and without the ball, Luton Town. It's chalk and cheese.
Now Mengi has done well again, just stepping forward, as Adrian said. He had 4 players snapping at his heels. He was still able to emerge with possession. Ball goes back for Johnson. Johnson to his goalkeeper Kaminski. Adebayo gets himself back on side. Here's a long diagonal. Adebayo chasing after it. Couldn't quite bring it down inside the penalty area, but he was goal side of Coutinho for a moment. And it takes a sliding challenge from Roberts to put the ball out for a throw that will be taken on the Luton left down by the corner flag.
Yeah, look, Morris and Adebayo are getting better service. They're getting onto the ball in better areas of the pitch. I mean, these long diagonals towards either Adebayo or Alfie Doughty are really causing Burnley problems in this second half.
Doughty will take the throw, and it's a good one, finding the chest, and then right boot of Morris inside the penalty area. Back from him, Nelson on target, easily saved. Burnley know they're in a game. Sorry, Adrian.
No, it's good. It's simple football, though, isn't it? Into the feet of Morris, holds it nicely, simple layoff, and Nelson's effort wasn't the worst by any stretch. But yeah, look, here we see Adebayo pressing. I didn't see Burnley defenders under that much pressure in the entirety of the first half. They've got a taste for it now, the Hatters.
And Burnley just a little bit rattled as a result. Now it is a meaningful examination of their credentials as the ball is played forward. And Burnley win it back. Koleosho trying to turn. Baptiste was in there very strongly. He's having a better second half than first as well. Back he goes for Walters, playing on the right of the 3 centre-halves for Luton. 13 minutes gone in the second half here at the Kenny. 2-1 to Burnley. They were 2 up at half-time. Forced a brilliant save and hit the post in the opening 10 minutes of the second half before Chong halved the deficit at the other end. Esteve getting it from O'Shea, feeding Cullen. Cullen going back to Brownhill. Now an opportunity for Lucas Pires to bring the ball forward. Koleosho, good ball down the line. Pires chasing after it. Walters has defended it well and will shepherd it over the line and out. And then Pires had to put the brakes on to make sure that he didn't get a face full of girder, as he very nearly did. And then complaining about something, he's got a yellow card on his way back past the referee.
A face full of girder. I mean, it's not every day you get one of those, is it?
Well, you hope. You're unlucky if it is.
Yeah, there looks pretty tough girder over there. Yeah, I've sat in that end. That's the famous end where you walk through somebody's back garden practically to get into the ground. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. But I think we just got to enjoy Kenilworth Road while we have it. I don't think it'll be too long, 2 or 3 years before Luton are in a new stadium.
It's an idiosyncratic venue. It is a wonderful venue as a neutral. We were talking in the first half about the commentary position that we have here is absolutely sublime. And we're watching a good second half from it. Odebear coming forwards, been fouled by Chong. He's going to get a yellow as well. So that's 4 in the book now. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Burnley, about 15-20 yards outside the penalty area, maybe a little bit further than that. It's not in shooting range, really. But they can get the big guns forward towards the edge of the penalty area. All of a sudden, we reach the hour mark. 2-1 to Burnley, and it feels as though there's more jeopardy about the game now than there has probably since about the 20-25 minute mark.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's absolutely jeopardy now. Burnley need a third, and they would like it as soon as possible, but because Luton have got a taste for it, and they look far more dangerous. We talked about it earlier. Morris and Adebayo are a proper handful if you get the right quality into the box. They weren't involved in the goal, though, of course.
Now Brownhill taking this free kick too close to Kaminski, who can come out and claim it easily. Just made ground to about 8 yards off his line, got his hands behind it, now bowls it out, and Luton will be able to bring it forward again.
Yeah, you think about Alfie Doughty and all those assists he can get, with corners, free kicks, crosses put into the box. People will see our assist from Doughty for Chong to score and assume that was how the goal was made, but it was just the cutest of headers, wasn't it? Really delicate piece of play from Doughty to lay it on a plate for Chong, who couldn't miss from 2 yards out.
Luton bringing the ball forward with Ted and Mengi coming forward towards halfway. Luton 1, Burnley 2 here on Talksport 2. And a reminder of more football coming up for you over the course of this week. Friday night, our next game from the Championship is Coventry take on Oxford. We've got the whole weight of the League Cup action between now and then. Sheffield United Wrexham tomorrow here on Talksport 2. And Leeds Middlesbrough on Talksport. Both of those games kick off at 8. That's Sheffield United tomorrow, Leeds on Wednesday, Man United against Fulham. Erik ten Hag's men hoping to pick up where they left off at the weekend, where they were excellent penalties apart in that game against Manchester City in the Community Shield, and they take on Fulham Friday night. The Premier League season begins on Talksport. Now another yellow card. This one shown to Cullen for a foul on Carlton Morris. His reaction wasn't particularly clever either. It might be a combination of the two that's got him in the book, but giving this free kick away, he's playing right into Alfie Doughty's hands. This free kick's 5 yards adrift to the edge of the penalty area, and it's level with the right-hand edge of the box. So he's got enough scope to be able to curl it in here for the big guns at the far post, where Mengi and Nelson and Morris and Adebayo are all waiting. Foster's just indulging himself in a little bit of pushing and shoving at the moment, trying to push Nelson into an offside position for when this ball is delivered. Mengi is in there as well. Johnson might be able to make a near post run. Feels like a big moment. There's 2 in the wall, everyone else back for Burnley inside the box. Can Doughty get the delivery right for Luton? Both arms above his head this time. Left-footed, clipped in. Going up for it, Mengi. It fell behind him. Odebear then misses a header on the edge of the penalty area, and Chong will be able to pick it up for Luton. He goes out towards the right-hand touchline, trying to get away from Koleosho. Gets the ball in, but it's cleared, volleyed emphatically away by Brownhill.
He did well, didn't he? To keep the ball alive. He could easily have turned back and played a simple pass, but he was determined to put a ball into the box, Chong, and he did.
Now Doughty plays the ball through the midfield for Mengi. Burnley the better side in the first half, Luton the better side in the second, despite that flurry of Burnley chances. Great play again, ball inside the penalty area, and Chong couldn't get on the end of it, but it was magnificent from Walters. It's the best attacking contribution we've seen in his very brief league career so far. Here comes another one, right-footed ball in, and that's headed away by Lucas Pires and out of play for a throw.
Yeah, he did a little shuffle, a little scissor there, fake to go left, went on the outside and put a good ball into the box for Ruel Walters. But yeah, those long diagonals, well, they're not even that long, but they're looking to pick out either the wide centre-backs or the wing-backs at every single opportunity, really stretching Scott Parker's rearguard in this second half, and they're forcing their wide players to basically come back and play as fullbacks. So it's been a really assertive, proactive second half performance from Luton Town so far. They've done half of the job. Can they get themselves an equaliser?
Yeah, they had a good record last season, particularly here at Kenilworth Road, coming back into games. But there were quite a few games that just saw points dropped very, very late on. You're not missing anything here because Koleosho is down in need of treatment over on the far side. And every other player, bar Kaminski and Abene, have come down towards this near touchline to get the wisdom from their respective managers.
Yeah, just never. This is something that never ever used to happen. When the player was injured, players would just sort of stand around in position and wait for the restart. But this is a modern phenomenon, and it does make sense, doesn't it? You know, you get a little extra team talk from the gaffer.
Yep, those instructions being given, something that's been seen. I'm always interested, the three Luton players actually didn't come over. Have they had permission not to come over, or just looking diffidently from the far side of the pitch? They all actually got as far away as possible.
They did,
from
actually.
this touchline. They went over to the far touchline. I'm not coming over.
Yeah, sometimes. As I used to be a winger, and sometimes I did prefer it on the opposite side to the manager, where I couldn't hear them.
Only sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like to be coached through games. I didn't want to, sometimes managers can try and coach you through it, pass it, take him on, do this, do that. Preferred to play my own game, and maybe that's what Ogbene and Ruel Walters were thinking by staying on that far side. I think we're about to, there's a substitution, Jim.
Yeah, Koleosho has not made it. So having received a little bit of treatment over on the far touchline, he's not going to be able to continue. As Rory, a fine player to be able to bring off the bench, a man who was actually sent off in the first game of last season. He played at the World Cup for Morocco, spent the second half of last season on loan at Hull, so this is very much a fresh start for him, a new chance under a new manager. But you've got to feel sorry for Koleosho because he's been fantastic.
Yeah, magnificent, great performance from him, but it might be an element of just safety first here. He's been out for so long. If there's any kind of problem there, why take a risk?
Foster trying to find a way through, has won a corner for Burnley, which is only their second of the game. It's going to be taken on the right wing, down away to our right-hand side on this near touchline.
Anas Zaruri, it's magnificent in that promotion campaign. Scored some great goals. I thought he was really unlucky not to get more game time in the Premier League. So yeah, that second chance, he'll be very determined to take it with the Clarets.
Well, he's amongst those waiting inside the penalty area as the corner comes in, and Doughty knocks it away. Back out as far as Brownhill. Brownhill down towards Lucas Pires, who's a tantalising ball inside the penalty area that was headed away. Esteve mistimes his jump as he goes up for it. Pires might be able to bring it down. He got a shot in with his right foot. Out of nothing, really. But Kaminski could dive to his right and make a relatively comfortable save.
It was a tricky one. I mean, he did really well under pressure here. The ball's bobbling around in the area, and he just brings the ball down, Pires, onto his weaker right foot. Gets an early shot away, and he has to get down really low, Kaminski, there to make the save. He has impressed me, Pires, tonight.
Now Brownhill able to bring it forward. It was Nelson that was caught in possession. Odebear inside the penalty area. Doughty wins it back, and Nelson's going to be able to bring it clear for Luton before being brought down. That's a free kick to Luton. Doughty's taking it quickly. Trying to get Adebayo isolated against O'Shea. Just a few words between the pair of them as well. The referee has pulled play back. I think he said that the ball was moving when Doughty took the free kick. So it's going to be another free kick that will be taken by Kaminski. I reckon the ball's moving again. He's taken it, finds Mengi, gets it back, and now he will drive it forward left-footed. Adebayo says, I'm not making that same run twice. It goes all the way through for Trafford. Chong putting the pressure on him, but he gets it clear. High, right-footed, hanging clearances volleyed straight out of play by Johnson. Just past the midway stage of the second half, and the sunset, pretty as it was, long behind us now. Just the odd pink hue away to our right-hand side of the western end of this ground behind the Oak Road stand. The rest of the ground pretty much enveloped under nightfall as Odobert brings it forward now for Burnley. Out to the left-hand side of the penalty area. Vitinho, little give and go with Odobert. He then went down off the ball, and the referee says free kick for a foul on Zaroury, about 10 yards outside the penalty area. Burnley looking to take that quickly, and the referee won't let them take it that quickly because he's still having a word with the Luton players. So it's a free kick in a good position left to centre.
We've seen a lot of free kicks in good positions tonight, haven't we, Jim? So many of these situations, mainly for Burnley, haven't really made good use of them at all. But this is I said before that one of them was in shooting range. I think this one is too. It's a little wider, but it's only really 22, 23 yards from goal. They could cross here, but we're tempted to try and whip this over the wall.
Well, Brownhill's been standing over a lot of the set pieces, but now Zaroury is on. It is he that is the right-footed option from this kind of area, and Pires remains the left-footed option. A little mini two-man Burnley wall wide of the three that Luton have got in theirs. Pires leaves it, Zaroury hits it, right-footed, clipped towards the back post, and O'Shea's offside.
Should have shot.
Well, they do like to mix it up, and that one has looked effective with the ball that has been played from ostensibly a crossing position, just as a wide-angled pass out towards the right-hand side of the penalty area. But if you're playing the percentages, O'Shea's got to get his run right.
And you're so far from goal. You know, both teams have tried it, going really wide to the man at the far post, but that man at the far post he's got to do a lot to get it just back into the danger zone. So, yeah, strange set pieces tonight.
Johnson punts it forward, and he goes straight through for Trafford. In terms of substitutes, Luton haven't made any as yet. And Burnley have made the one recently with Zaroury on for Koleosho. I'll run through who is on the bench in a moment, but Wout Weghorst, remember, is there for Burnley to be called upon if necessary. Brownhill's done really well, great persistence from him. He's run some 40-50 yards now, lays it off for Zaroury, left-hand side of the area, little step over, gets to the byline and wins a corner. Are these the benches then for Luton? It's Bell, Woodrow and Panzu, Taylor, Holmes, Townsend, and then youngsters hoping for debuts, Francis Clarke and Chigozie. For Burnley, Rodriguez, Benson, Twine, Weghorst, McNally, and Tonji and Masengo, along with the two substitute goalkeepers as well, of course, Shea and Clarke. Burnley corner, their third of the game. Lucas Pires to take it. Left-footed outswinger. 18 minutes to go. 2-1 Burnley lead here on Talksport 2. In towards O'Shea, and he scores! Great little flick header at the near post. The delivery was spot on. The marking certainly wasn't. O'Shea wheels away, and that probably will be that. Burnley set to get off to a winning start here at Kenilworth Road with a notable scout.
Well, Luton struggled defending set pieces at Premier League level, and they've been undone again here. It's a simple set piece. It's just a straightforward outswinger. And Dara O'Shea makes the run across the near post and gets the cleanest of contacts on the ball. There's a little cluster around about the penalty spot. He escapes and he times it to perfection. Gets away from his marker really cleverly amid the confusion. Arcs his run. And it's a bullet header, isn't it? Into the far corner.
Yeah, it's a great header. Johnson was keeping an eye on Esteve. I think Nelson just got stuck in a little bit of traffic. Walters couldn't get there. And all of a sudden, O'Shea made contact. As soon as he did, there was going to be no chance for Kaminski. And Burnley's 2-goal lead is restored. Luton 1, Burnley 3. On a night when they've had 5 shots on target, they've scored 3 of them.
Amazing. Yeah, and it's what they needed, because it's taken the wind out of Luton's sails. Can they go again? I mean, we saw in the Premier League that they have great spirit, the Hatters, under Rob Edwards, so I wouldn't write them off, but in the here and now, they're hanging on a little bit, Luton.
Cullen plays it through the midfield. Connor Roberts goes square for Brownhill. Brownhill to his left-hand side for Lucas Pires. Pires turns it back for Brownhill once more. He's inside the centre circle. Now it's clipped forward towards the right-hand side. Coming in off that right flank is Coutinho for Burnley. So all about 15 yards outside the Luton penalty area. And they're hungry for more. What a start this is going to be for Scott Parker, who replaced Vincent Kompany last month. His first job in 16 months. The players have clearly taken to him.
And all of the goals, you could say, have got the manager's imprint on them. You know, it's a tactical move for the first two, and then a set piece.
And now Coutinho making his way forward, left-footed effort from him, and curves only just wide. Kaminski knew from a long way out that he was struggling there, but Coutinho couldn't quite get the ball to come in enough, and it remains only 3-1.
Yeah, scampering run, wasn't it? I think he nutmegs Alfie Doughty, and then he's away, just drives infield 10, 15, 20 yards, and just whips a left-footed shot, just goes wide of the post. But that was good from Coutinho. Yeah, they look really, really comfortable now, Burnley. Starting to enjoy themselves.
Kaminski plays it for Baptiste, very nearly played into the face of the press from Foster. Luton work it forward, get it out towards the right-hand touchline. Morris goes to the ground, wins a free kick. Cullen giving it away. Well, if Luton can get themselves back in the game relatively quickly, you never know, the whole momentum would change again, but as it is, with 15 minutes to go, it's very much Burnley's to lose now, and deservedly so, over the whole 75 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just looking for any activity. There's just one Luton player out, it's Andros Townsend. He's an obvious one, isn't he, to bring on in this kind of situation.
What will Luton be able to do from this free kick? Nelson waiting on the edge of the penalty area. He's getting involved with Foster again. Morris can make a free run at the far post. The ball didn't have enough height to be able to get to him, but it will find Chong on the right-hand side of the box. Back for Doughty again. Gets it out from underneath his feet. Clips it in. Trafford comes out. Punches it commandingly away. Then a little back header from Baptiste back into the fray. Burnley can get that clear, and O'Shea marshals the back line, urges everybody to get out quickly. Now to come forward once more from the back. Over on the right-hand touchline for Luton's Chidozie Bene. Down towards Nelson, inside his own half of the centre circle. He will find Johnson. Johnson turns inside his own half. Back from him to Mengi. Mengi fires a long right-footed ball out towards the right-hand side, where Doughty can control it with his head, nod it into space, try and get towards the byline and get a cross in. He's managed that, but a little double ricochet. He's very unfortunate that it comes back off Lucas Pires into him and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, really unlucky. It's another one of those diagonals. They've worked pretty well, actually, for Luton, especially in this second half. They just weren't able to maintain the momentum they had. Once they got that goal back, they were on fire. They really had Burnley rocking. And then, I don't know whether it was an energy thing, but they then ended up being pushed back by the visitors, and they had to absorb some chances, some set pieces, and eventually they were broken down. Yeah, this is far from ideal. You don't want to be conceding 3 goals at home on the opening day of the season.
Doughty's got a problem as well, because as the ball cannoned back into him, hit him flush in the face, and there's a very tight runoff down by the corner flag, particularly over on that far side where the television presentation position is, and that's cleared away during the game, but there are still boxes stuff down there, and I think as well as getting smacked in the face by the ball, he possibly then collided with some of that equipment that is down there, and he's just being treated as we speak right now. So Luton temporarily down to 10 men, but they get a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area, which Johnson's going to leave for Kaminski. 12 to go, and Luton need 2 in the final 12 minutes to get a point here. Burnley 3-1 up on Talksport 2.
Yeah. It looks all right. I think they've been doing the test to see whether he's concussed, but seems okay, but everything's cramped at Kenilworth Road. There's just not much space for anything, is there? So yeah, things like that are more likely to happen here than at other grounds.
Ball is cleared by Mengi. And then volley forward by Walters. O'Shea gets a shout from his goalkeeper just to let it run, and it goes all the way back for James Trafford, away to our left-hand side. Not that long ago, in the grand scheme of things, Burnley were embarking on a European campaign. Something that Aston Villa are doing this season. Their first Champions League European Cup campaign for 42 years, and Wednesday's Talksport breakfast show will be coming from the training ground at Bodymoor. Jim Stanley and former Villa captain Andy Townsend from 6 till 10, going behind the scenes for Villa's preparations for the new Premier League season and for that Champions League campaign as well. It's Talksport breakfast Wednesday morning between 6 and 10. A reminder that the Premier League gets underway Friday night. Man United Fulham is live and exclusive to national radio on Talksport. So a change to be made by Luton, and Townsend will come on to replace Johnson. One coach has got 3 fingers up. Rob Edwards has got 4 fingers up. I'm sure the players know exactly what the new system is going to be.
Yeah, well, it's 4-4-2 for Luton. Tahith Chong's coming up to the left-hand side now. From the number 10 role, Andros Townsend out on the right. They've gone from a back 3 to a flat back for Luton.
Walter striding forward. Foster's won it back. He's played in Vitinho, the other end. Vitinho, 4-1. This really is a marker laid down on the opening weekend by Burnley. That is classic counter-attacking football. Foster racing forward. And then it fell to Vitinho, whose right-footed effort came back off the far post and into the roof of the net. And with 10 minutes to go, it's Luton 1, Burnley 4.
Well, this is a statement victory for Scott Parker's Burnley. Wow, what a goal that is. Absolutely superb from Vitinho. Crashes it in off the far post. But it's Lyle Foster's driving run that makes the difference. They just can't keep pace with him. He slips it to Vitinho at just the right time, and then he lashes it across the face of goal, in off the far post. What a start to the season for Burnley.
Well, Kaminski got a right foot to it and very nearly did enough with that, but it just came off his foot, hit the inside of the post and cannoned in. Goals from Brownhill, Odebear, O'Shea and Vitinho. Burnley 4-1 up, away to a Luton side who came down with them. And as you say, this really is a statement of intent for the 24-25 season.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Parker's heart rate must be pounding at the moment. He'll be so chuffed. He needed this, didn't he, after the disappointment of his time over in Belgium. And tactically, he's nailed it tonight. He has. He's just the set piece. It's a training ground move. It's the first 2 goals. Certainly a tactical ploy. He's this is almost the perfect managerial debut from Scott Parker.
And Burnley will now make a double change. You haven't missed anything because Perez has just been receiving some treatment and he's not going to continue. Masengo will replace him. And Noah Masengo, just his 5th senior appearance. And we're also going to see Wout Weghorst come on. A player who gets a magnificent ovation from the travelling Burnley supporters. Seeing him in action for the first time since May 2022. He's had loan spells at Besiktas, Manchester United and Hoffenheim since then. Scored some important goals as a substitute in the World Cup and the Euros since he last played for Burnley. And now Wout Weghorst is back, wearing 29 these days. He might not necessarily be a Burnley player for long, but he's still one at the moment. And he's putting pressure on Kaminski here. Burnley leading 4-1 here at Kenilworth Road on a superb night for them. Now Andros Townsend makes his way forward for Luton. Goes out towards the right-hand side for Abene. High ball in from him, not close enough towards Adebayo, who has just given Connor Roberts a shove. Play goes on. Roberts is told to get back to his feet by the Luton players. Play goes on with Zaroury in possession. He's released Masengo, right-hand side of the penalty area, and Nelson puts the ball out of play for a Burnley corner. And Roberts might need a little bit of treatment before the corner can be taken.
Yeah, he's definitely hurt. He wouldn't stay down here. But Burnley just played on anyway and scampered up the field and won themselves a corner in the blink of an eye. Yeah, they're rampant now, the Clarets. Luton have gone. Their heads are gone. They cannot wait for the final whistle, the home side here.
So Rory will take this corner for Burnley, who will be hungry for more. They're 4-1 up. They've scored twice in the last 11 minutes. And there's still 6 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Still time for more. Now, before Zaroury's going to be allowed to take this corner, the referee just wants a word with some of the chief protagonists in the pushing and shoving that's going on. Val Weghorst never too far away from that. Shandon Baptiste is trying to keep an eye on him. Good luck. Weghorst about 6 inches taller than Baptiste. Now Zaroury, it's going to be to take it. Right-footed, swung towards the edge of the 6-yard box and headed away by Carlton Morris. It comes out for Masengo. Masengo with a little reverse ball, then gets a return ball, the left-hand side of the penalty area. Played back by him. An opportunity for Burnley to bring it forward again. And they'll go back, ultimately, from Vitinho instead. Trafford. Long right-footed ball forward from Trafford, straight through to his opposite number, Kaminski. What is it that's most impressed you, Adrian Clarke, with Burnley's performance tonight?
I think the clarity of the game plan, it's been executed superbly. The pressing was a big part in it, and it's had a huge influence on the game. The smart, intelligent way that they opened up Luton's rookie back three. But the sort of word that I would use to associate with this Burnley performance, well, there's two words. One is clinical, and the other is intensity. They've just had an intensity about them right from the word go, with and without the ball, that Luton have found hard to deal with.
Luton still trying and still in possession. Now with Andros Townsend, who's trying to skip his way past Vitinho. He's managed that. Ball in towards the penalty spot. Masengo heads it away. Right-footed volley from Baptiste. Got it all wrong, but it took a deflection off Masengo and goes out of play for a corner that'll be taken on the Luton Town left.
Yeah, it was nice wing play, wasn't it, from Andros Townsend? We know he's got all sorts of ability. Yeah, skip past his man. Well, look, they're kind of playing for pride here. I think they know that their race is run. I think we are going to see Mpanzu shortly as well. But yeah, what a... You can't let a night like this become too damaging if you're Luton, but it's humbling.
Doughty with the corner. Diving headed clearance from O'Shea. Still urging his side on. Wanted to keep the standards high, telling them to push out and get outside the penalty area. Doughty wanted to take the throw quickly. He's not going to be allowed to do that because there's going to be the change. Baptiste coming off, and Pelly Ruddock-Panzu is going to come on. Firm favourite here. The man guaranteed to go down as a club legend. This is 403rd appearance. Man who's in his 12th season with the club. He's won 4 promotions, including from the National League back in 2014, which puts everything in perspective. When you've had that kind of run, you can swallow the odd poor night at home against decent opposition.
Definitely, yeah. No, he's earned the right to be here, hasn't he, Panzu? Great clubman.
Walters with a long ball forward, brought down on the right-hand side by Andros Townsend. Townsend trying to go one side, then goes the other, away from Vitinho. That's a good ball in as well. Good defensive header came from Masengo because it took it out of the flight path of Doughty, who's cutting a frustrated figure now, and now he's lost position to Zaroury. Zaroury will be able to bring the ball forward. Gets away from Chong. Back through the midfield for Cullen. Cullen's done well to find Weghorst. Weghorst got tied the turn. Masengo will help it on, but away from Brownhill. And it'll be mopped up at the back by Luton inside their half of the centre circle with the Bene. And he'll go to his left-hand side for Ted Mmengi. They've got Portsmouth away next, and then Preston, who got rid of Ryan Lowe, their manager today. It's the next 2 games for Luton. Burnley, Cardiff at home, and then Sunderland away, the next 2 for them. But interesting to see what the table's looking like after those games.
Yeah, it's not an unkind run of fixtures, but Pompey away is tricky, isn't it? But yeah, you don't want to let things fester. They want to get that first win under their belt as soon as possible, Luton, and forget about this, because it's been a horrible, horrible start to the season for the Hatters.
Well, the last time that Burnley didn't win their opening game in the Championship was back in 2008. It was a 4-1 defeat.
Right.
And they got promoted. So, still time for Luton. 45 games to go.
Yeah, nothing's decided tonight, that is for sure. But it's a good psychological blow against one of, a team that's likely to be one of your rivals near the top.
Mengi's just been pulled back by Cullen, and Cullen has then gone down, hurt. And the referee will go across to see exactly just how hurt he is. Whether he needs any little bit of treatment or whether it's just cramp. It looks as though it is the latter. Weghorst stretching the leg of the midfielder. And the free kick will be taken by Luton. We've gone into the final minute of the 90 here on Talksport 2. 4-1 to Burnley. 2 up at half-time. The game in the balance when Chong pulled one back for a moment. Luton had a great start to the second half, but they fell away. O'Shea made it 3-1, and that killed the night. Vitinho subsequently added a fourth. Here come Luton again. Right-hand side of the box, the ball is too long for Townsend and goes out of play for a goal kick. You see, Burnley as the favourites on the strength of this performance. I mean, it's very easy to read too much into isolated 90-minute spells at the beginning of a season, but looking at the way that Leeds play, the way that Burnley have played tonight,
I'm not going to change my mind too much. I'll just put them in that bunch with Leeds and Sheffield United and Luton, because Luton, I'm sure, will come good. But yeah, this is the perfect start for them, no doubt. But no, this doesn't guarantee them anything. And I think it's an off night as well. They've played Luton. It's good timing for them to play Luton because they're so depleted in defensive areas. And if this match was replayed around Christmas time and they've got their first choice defenders available, Burnley would not find it anywhere near as easy.
Yeah, remember, no Anderson. Belly's on the bench but not fully fit. No Burke, no Brown, no Clarke, no Hashioka, no Nakamba. So that is the extent of Luton's problems at the moment. But Burnley have brilliantly exploited those tonight. Ball played for Morris, trying to chest it down. Masengo's going to be able to bring it away. Burnley have just made another change. They've taken Odebear off and they've brought on the defender Luke McNally for just his 5th appearance, a player who's had loan spells at Coventry and Stoke over the last couple of years. Now the ball worked out towards Masengo on the Burnley left. They're looking for number 5. They might yet get it, but Doughty was back. Oh, it's Masengo, then gets a shot in. Doughty with a touch. It looks as though the danger pass ricocheted off him to no one inside the penalty area. And Masengo raced onto it, got a shot in that was blocked, and it could have been 5.
Oh, it should have been 5. Kind of shambolic defending really from Luton and Alfie Doughty, who's normally so reliable. He's been bright, hasn't he? Of all the subs that have come on for Burnley, Masengo's wanted to get on the ball and drive and make things happen. He was released by a Cullen pass. He's also been excellent this evening.
Well, here's Panzu inside the area. And Doughty outside him. He used him as the decoy to try and pick out Chong, but he put it between the legs of his teammate who was making a run ahead of him, and it's gone innocuously out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our left. It's been a really good cameo from Masengo. I think I'm right in saying he's never scored a senior goal in his career in more than 130 games, and probably should have got that monkey off his back tonight.
Yeah, well, the ball came back to him really kindly. He's 5-6 yards out, and he sort of rushed his effort. But yeah, he's come on and given the team a little bit more impetus just when they needed it. They have got such depth, Burnley. It'd be fascinating to see whether they still have it after the close of the transfer window, because a lot of these guys will be targeted, no doubt about that.
Well, you think from a Burnley perspective, who isn't playing tonight? No Sander Berger, no Alderkeel, no who else?
Well, Twine hasn't come on.
Sambo, a new signing we haven't seen tonight. No Goodmanson. So plenty of others as well. No Amdouni.
Yeah. Good player, Amdouni.
Here's Zaroury, right-hand side of the penalty area. Just threads it through and bypasses Connor Roberts and goes through to the goalkeeper, Kaminski. 3 minutes of the 6 added still to go, and it's 4-1 to Burnley.
You think about the quality of those players we just mentioned. You know, if they were available this evening, this could have been an even tougher night, an even more chastening night for Luton. Yeah, Zeki Amdouni was frontline striker, wasn't he, for most of last season?
Yeah, he came back from the Euros late, which has been given as the reason why he's not involved today, but I think people will draw their conclusions. Townsend getting the ball inside the box. It's knocked away by O'Shea. Oh, Townsend might get a second bite of the cherry. O'Shea does, and almost hits the floodlight pylon over on the far touchline. She did well to miss it. Goes out for a throw, which will be taken by Luton at level with the edge of the Burnley penalty area with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's good to see a floodlight pylon, isn't it? I don't see them anymore. You know, you know where the stadiums were because you see them coming out of the skyline, but yeah, the modern grounds opt for a different style, don't they? But yeah, it's a glorious sight under the lights, Kenilworth Road. You know, and most of the fans have stayed. You know, it's not been a mass exodus at 4-1. You know, a lot have stuck around.
I always get the impression that more than many other fan bases, there's a real sense of reality here at Kenilworth Road. O'Shea will head the ball away inside his own penalty area and it goes out. That's a byproduct, I'm sure, of the journey that Luton Town have been on. I mentioned that, you know, the wilderness years. There's still a flag up in the corner of the stadium here. We can't see it from here, that says sold out by the FA. I think back in 2009 that was. 4-5 years in non-league football. So from the journey that they've had has engendered that sense of reality. And, you know, listen, an opening day defeat is neither here nor there. They lost at home to Burnley a couple of seasons ago and still ended the season by getting promoted into the Premier League.
Yeah, they've just got to dust themselves down and not dwell on this. And you know, I think the personnel, you know, the lack of options defensively has certainly hindered them. Yeah, they shouldn't lose too much confidence, but yeah, it's an awful start for them against a rampant Burnley.
We're in the last minute of stoppage time. The Clarence will work it forward. McNally sending a high ball that is volleyed back by Doughty. Flicked on, but McNally is able to pick it up again. He's then lost it. Sliding challenge, well timed. To put the ball out of play for a throw that will be taken on this near touchline by Pelly Roddick and Panzu right in front of us. Down towards Doughty on halfway. Certainly better days to come for Luton Town over the course of this season. This an outstanding way to start the campaign for a Burnley side that finished below them in the Premier League last season. Long ball launched forward. Morris flicks it down. Time for a consolation still just about for Luton, but Townsend's ball falls behind. And Nelson, who's his target, goes through towards Panzu. Left-footed, dug in by Townsend, and just coming round the back, it's hit McNally and goes out of play for a corner. There's barely time to take.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll get to see this corner. If we do, I expect the whistle to go very shortly afterwards. Yeah, this is last knockings now. The game's done and dusted.
Doughty to take the corner for Luton, who trail by 4-1. Left-footed away swinger towards the penalty spot, headed down and straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, but there's been a shove on Roberts anyway, and the full-time whistle is greeted with some isolated boos here at Kenilworth Road. But a couple of years ago, Burnley began their promotion campaign with a magnificent away win at Huddersfield on the opening day. Now they've done likewise here at Luton Town. They've beaten them very handily indeed with a 4-1 win and performance to match that gives them hope that this could be another season of vintage claret. Luton have got better days ahead. This, an outstanding one for Burnley. Luton 1, Burnley 4.
Wow, what a start for Burnley, what a start for Scott Parker, the Clarets, showing no signs of a relegation hangover, while it looks like Luton drank too much claret themselves this summer and maybe still have sore heads. There shouldn't really be a gulf between Luton and Burnley, but there truly was this evening, and maybe that is due to those players missing for Luton Town. They certainly didn't show the best version of themselves in front of their home fans at Kenilworth Road, and that is why you heard those boos towards that full-time whistle. Adrian, Clarke, let's start with Burnley, because for them it is Saul Roses, their fans applauding them. Nobody's left that away section. What will Scott Parker take from his first 90 minutes as Burnley boss, do you think?
Well, he'll take great confidence and heart from the quality of his players' performance. You know, they've got some real good technicians in the team, haven't they? So a lot of ability, a lot of pace, and they utilised it very, very well tonight. And I think he would have been thrilled at the attitude, because even at 4-1 up, they were still chasing every ball. They were still, you know, sprinting to close down Luton players. The attitude, the focus, and the efficiency of this Burnley performance was highly impressive, and he'll just ask them to maintain that level.
How big a message is it to the other big sides in the division? You think about the way Leeds United against Portsmouth, the promoted side at home at the weekend, maybe disappointed their fans slightly by not taking all 3 points, and you see Burnley come away from home to a side that was in the Premier League last year, and frankly they battered them.
Yeah.
I get it, there are injuries, but it does send a psychological message out.
Yeah, they've won the opening weekend, haven't they? If you're thinking that the big four will battle it out by the end of the season, it's been a splendid weekend for Burnley and for Sheffield United. Not so much for Leeds and Luton, but this is a long old season. 45 games to go. There'll be plenty more twists and turns, but I think tonight we've got an indication of the quality that Scott Parker has got to work with at Turf Moor, and I'll be staggered if they're not in the top 3 come the end of this campaign.
Away to our right, the Burnley players celebrate with their fans. All the fans that have made the long journey to Lancashire can celebrate all the way back home. It's going to be a very, very late evening for them. And Rob Edwards leads out in front of all of the Luton players. A round of applause for all of their fans who have stayed inside the stadium. He's getting a great reception back. He is, of course, a legend here, and those fans, I'm sure, know that there are mitigating circumstances when it comes to their team. And Adrian, they showed a bright spark in the start of the second half. I asked you what the plan B was going to be for Rob Edwards. Well, it was do plan A better, and it worked for a period of time.
Oh, they had Burnley rocking, no doubt about it. They got them. They were all over them like a rash. First 10 minutes of the second half, they cranked it up. They worked harder. They played probably 20 yards higher up the pitch, and they asked questions of Burnley. And for that spell, you thought, well, Luton are going to come back here. They're going to pull it back to 2 apiece. Then they backed off. Was that, were they worn out by that sort of early salvo in the second half and they just retreated? Or was it a reaction from Burnley? It's probably a combination of the two. But once Burnley got back on the front foot, started creating chances, applying the pressure, it then felt like only a matter of time before the third went in. And it was a set piece, wasn't it, that really broke the hearts of Luton Town. And they've got to get better at that. They let in 19 goals from set pieces in the Premier League. You wouldn't expect you'd expect Luton to be better than that, because it's an area that they will focus on. So I think Rob Edwards will go back to the drawing board and work hard on defending corners and free kicks better.
How important is an immediate response as they go away to Portsmouth?
Well, of course it's important. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough environment.
I'm just thinking about, listen, the reason that the term relegation hangovers come into the vernacular is because some teams, it slightly spirals at the start of the season. You want confidence to go back into a really positive area as soon as possible. Remember, you've been relegated, and so you really need those results early in the season. And if you don't get them, sometimes the players end up really with the slumped shoulders, and it can become something bigger over the course of the campaign. Yeah,
it'll fire them up for the game, but this will give Portsmouth great encouragement, because they'll look at the video of this and they'll see the back three and the young midfield and think, oh, we can do something here. And of course they've just scored 3 at Ellen Road. They'll be absolutely buzzing on their return to the second tier. So that is a tough second fixture for Luton. They're going to have to play significantly better than they did here tonight to get anything out of that game. It wouldn't surprise me if they went there and struggled based on what we saw tonight, because Portsmouth will bring it. You can guarantee that.
Yeah, Fratton Park will be jumping. Difficult game for Luton next up. Really appreciate the company of Adrian Clarke. Bumper shift this evening, and Jim Proudfoot. Remember, Sports Bar about to get underway over on Talksport. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy are with you. You can get your calls in.